Paul says that we basically can do nothing without it. And I know some people are going to say that's a far stretch. I don't have to be very loving or love people to necessarily do good or nice things, right? Well, according to the Bible, you do. What's up, Geeks? It's your guy Q here, aka JGTV, and we are back with another one, guys. And today, guys, we are in the last and final installment of God Over Culture, the LGBTQIA plus community. We are closing it out. Finito, this is the end of God Over Culture. And today we're going to be leading with love. So God Over Culture, the LGBTQIA plus community, let's lead with love. Let's get right into it. In my last couple videos, we've kind of been discussing the LGBTQIA plus community, a little bit slightly of what culture says, because we know all of the nasty hearsay we hear from culture, but more so about what God says about sin. And I chose this angle particularly because what I've noticed about this community is that people tend to take this particular sin and exalt it over every other sin, or tend to lift it up over every other sin, putting it at the very top as probably one of the worst sins, if not the worst sin you can commit. And that's just simply not true. So we've been kind of taking a look at a blanket effect of what God looks at as sin as a whole. Today I want to really zero in on love, because Paul talks very extensively in the Bible about love. Paul says that we basically can do nothing without it. And I know some people are going to say that's a far stretch. I don't have to be very loving or love people to necessarily do good or nice things, right? Well, according to the Bible, you do. So we're going to start in 1 Corinthians today. I'm going to read chapter 13, and I'm going to go through verses 1 to 8. It might be some familiar scripture to some of you. You might have heard it at weddings or weddings. So as pastors, sometimes we're a little bit guilty of saying that at weddings. I don't do it often. I've done it at one. Don't stone me. But here Paul has written the church in Corinth, and he's talking to them about the excellence of love. They have a couple of questions here about what exactly, like they're doing things without love. And Paul is basically pointing this out in this letter. Paul is basically going to go over a couple of examples and explain to them that, hey, if you are doing any of this without love, you're failing. So let's take a look at this. If I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love for others growing out of God's love for me, then I have become only a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal, just as an annoying distraction. So in case you guys were wondering, I'm reading the amplified version of this. And if I have the gift of prophecy and speak a new language from God to the people, and understand all mysteries and possesses all knowledge, and if I have all sufficient faith so that I can remove mountains but do not have love, reaching out to others, I am nothing. If I give all my possessions to feed the poor And if I surrender my body to be burned, but do not have love, it does me no good at all. Love endures with patience and serenity. Love is kind and thoughtful and is not jealous or envious. Love does not brag and is not proud or arrogant. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not provoked, nor overly sensitive and easily angered. It does not take into account a wrong endured. Some translation says it keeps no record of wrong. It does not rejoice at injustice, but rejoices with truth when right and truth prevail. Love bears all things, regardless of what comes, believes all things, looking for the best in each one, hopes all things, remaining steadfast during times, difficult times, endures all things without weakening. Love never fails. It never fades nor ends. I think what everyone loves most about this when we hear Paul talk about it is that it just sounds beautiful. Like just the way it sounds so perfect. And that's the reason why he's talking about the love of God, because the love of God is perfect. This is what Paul is describing here. And this is the type of love that we have to have for a community that we're having a hard time agreeing with. The way to lead is to lead with love. This is the way to lead. Paul is saying here, check this out. If you try to do anything, all of these things he named in here, he says if you try to do anything without love, guess what? You will fail. Not that you might or it's to come, but that it's a guarantee that you will fail. Not that it might be deterred, but that it's a guarantee. He's literally saying without love, you're literally a distraction. You're an annoyance. You're not going to prevail. You're not going to win. You're not going to succeed. And I think what it seems like what some of us do is that we try to put God in our imaginary box of what we think he should think like. Like we think that God should think that there's a problem with people who are in the LGBTQIA plus community because it's in the Bible. And if something is in the Bible and God says it's wrong, guess what? God is right about it. But here's when we become wrong, when we don't lead with love. And what I see going on currently is not leading with love. When you're kicking people out of churches because you don't like the way that they're dressed, or you don't like the way that they're coming off to you. You feel like they're offending everybody, so you're going to dictate if they stay inside the church or not. You know, you're not going to come in my church dressed like that. Or even this last video that was circling around social media when people are making videos about the transgender couple. Okay, I know that some of it was triggering for some people and some of it was probably bad thought-provoking. But this is where people kill me, when they're always so quick to bash pastors, but no one talks about the difference between the pastor and everybody else. Because the difference between the pastor and everybody else, where I'll stand up and I'll say this, is that, did you think about the souls of those people before you created the video? Because it was easy to make the video, and I've seen many of them saying things like, are you ready to see something disgusting? Are you ready to be repulsed? I can't believe this. But did you stop at all for a split second to think, man, what if this person sees this video and I don't know what's going on in their life? What if one of them commits suicide? Man, what if somebody sees this video that lives in this person's neighborhood and they thought this was a straight couple, or they never really paid them any mind, and now somebody wants to kill them? That probably didn't cross your mind because you didn't care, because you're leading with hate. That's what you're leading with. But you want it to look like righteousness because you're calling out a sin that's obvious to you and obviously offends you. So you want to say that you're righteous because you're calling it out, and you're wrong. Like it. First of all, if you're a Christian and you're leading like this, you're dead wrong. But if you're not a Christian, the only reason why you get a little bit of pass on this is because you don't know Jesus yet. But literally, some of us who call ourselves Christians, we walk in this manner and we're wrong. So I really hope that you guys got a chance to really get something from this, enjoy this, and just kind of take a different perspective and just look at it differently, and don't always think that the way you view things and the way you look at things is right. God doesn't view things the way that we view things. So while we might think this person might go straight to hell, or they should go straight to hell. Jesus is like, sorry, I don't think like you. Every time Jesus encountered someone in scripture, we do not see him pointing out first their flaws or what they're doing. When he encounters the woman at the well, he's not like, oh, so I already know you had like 4 husbands, 5 husbands, and the dude you living with now. Like, he doesn't even start the conversation like that. He doesn't start the conversation like that with Zacchaeus at all. Like, it's not like that when he runs into anybody. I'm pretty sure when Nicodemus came to him, he could point some things out. Anybody who came to Jesus, he could point some things out. And he never leads conversations like that. He always leads with love. He always led with, how can I help? How can I serve? What can I do for you? Have you asked anybody in the LGBTQIA plus community that ever, lately, at any point in your life? Probably not, because you're busy leading with hate. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. You get something from this. Share this video with people who have questions about Christ and what they might feel like about what they're struggling with or their lifestyle or what people are saying about it. Pastor Roy Dockery always says it best. Don't judge Christ by Christians, judge Christ by Christ. Christ can interpret himself. He interprets his word, and he does a great job at it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to share this video. And what I always say, guys, take care of yourselves, love one another, but most of all, love God. Peace.